A blind girl named Sarah was bathing, completely unaware a man was watching her. After her bath, she was searching for a towel when the man used a knife to pull it towards her. She assumed it was her husband, but the figure instead moved away. Sarah entered the kitchen, discovering a recently murdered corpse lying there. Shortly after, she slipped and tumbled down. Upon touching the body with her hands, she identified her husband, Ryan. Then, screaming her husband's name, she began to cry hysterically. Overcome by fear from his death, she started to flee. While escaping, she ran directly into that same man. Reeling from the collision, Sarah shoved him, demanding, "What do you want? And did you murder my husband?" The killer remained silent, instead beginning to hurl objects around to intimidate her. He grabbed a book and slammed it down violently, which terrified Sarah immensely, and she immediately started sprinting towards her bedroom. Inside, she slammed and locked the door of the room. She frantically grabbed her laptop, intending to send a desperate voice message to her friend for help. But just then, the assailant shattered the glass, burst inside, and violently knocked Sarah to the ground. He then brandished a knife, threatening her life. A short time later, she found herself bound to the bed as the killer searched her home for something specific. But finding nothing of interest there, he returned his full attention to Sarah. He then started to smear blood across Sarah's feet. However, he then began moving his hands slightly further up. To this, Sarah yelled out fiercely and said, "Get your hands out of there." Instead, he simply straightened his hands were in pain, so she cried out loudly. She began demanding that he untie the rope. The killer considered it, thinking what damage could a blind girl move her eyes. Sarah then asked for permission to change her clothes. She explained she was feeling extremely cold. At that moment, the telephone rang, and the killer promptly answered and started talking. Over the phone, he explained he'd attempted to get that thing, but Ryan had fought back. So, he killed Ryan in an act of self-preservation, and now will retrieve that thing using his blind wife. Here, the killer returned to him after ending the phone call. He then said, "If you wish to live, then tell me quickly where the money is. It is better for both of us. I do not want to kill you." He had barely finished his talk. Before that, Sarah struck him with the camera and began running out of there quickly. She knew the complete layout of that house well. For that reason, she started heading down the stairs. Her pursuer also immediately started running after her. But against the odds, Sarah ran and got to the road, and began pleading with people for assistance. She moved frantically and begged people to phone the police, so that the crowd's attention started shifting to her. Then a bald man appeared there, who flashed people his police ID. His name was Robert. He declared that he would take care of her. Then from afar, the killer was also observing all this. Sarah then relayed Robert the whole story. He promptly contacted the police team and gave the location of Sarah's house, and he stated that he required help as soon as possible. After that, Robert brought her to the building where all of this took place. Before we move further, do like the video and subscribe the channel. He then informed Sarah that they would need to wait for the police team's arrival. Just then, Sarah recognized the voice of the killer, and the killer appeared in front. Sarah told Robert with terror that he is the one. Robert then said that, "Yes, I know." Then the two men took her in the lift. Sarah then realized that Robert was also complicit with the killer. He took Sarah up to the penthouse once again. This time, Robert informed her that Sarah's husband and they were friends. They had all pulled off a very big theft. At this, Sarah was quiet. Then her attacker started to assault Sarah. He threw her viciously, because Sarah had wounded his head. But just then Robert's gaze hit the wall. It fell on a picture, which had a very mysterious appearance. He said, while halting the killer, "There is absolutely something special in this photo." So, the killer swiftly took down the painting. Robert then began ripping the painting from behind. And as he looked, a huge sum of money fell out of it. Millions of dollars fell out from it. Seeing this made them both happy. Sarah then said that you have what you away from here. Robert then replied that before night arrives, if she tells anybody about this, then they will kill her, because she is leaving this city. After that, he took all the money and quietly left. The moment they were gone, Sarah quickly shut the door. Then in grief over losing her husband, she sat on a pillar and began crying loudly. She remained there until evening, but suddenly she rose and started running towards the door. She was just about to open the gate. Robert then closed the door and asked Sarah how she had known that her husband had gifts. And there is just one diamond inside this locket. Their true purpose was not to take money. They want the 30 diamonds. Sarah insisted that she does not know where the diamond is. Just then, Sarah's cat came there. After hearing this, Robert threw the cat down and stated that if she does not tell. Following the death of that cat, the killer also became angry, since he liked cats very much. They began to argue, but Robert placed a knife on his neck and told him to sit comfortably. Using this opportunity, Sarah climbed onto the roof, and hearing the chopper's sound, she began pointing with her hands. Actually, the police chopper regularly moves to prevent crime. The officer noticed Sarah. That is why the chopper began coming towards Sarah. But Robert then came from behind, and he pressed a gun on Sarah's waist and said, "Do as I tell you. If she tries doing anything, then he will shoot her." Now as the chopper got close, Robert began kissing Sarah, and then they both started saying hi to the officer, which led the other inside, and began torturing her. Both of them started to open the safe. In the meantime, the killer went to bring water to Sarah. Then Sarah asked, "What do you think? After you get 20 million diamonds, your partner will let you live. He will surely never divide those diamonds." That is why they then discovered that there was no diamond in it, just a card. After seeing this, Robert became angry and bound Sarah to the table to torture her. He then placed a towel and began pouring water on her. This made it hard for Sarah to breathe, and she began to suffer. But in that moment, the doorbell rang. It was then discovered it was Sarah's sister and her husband, who had come to see her today for the new year. Robert then said that he must send them back, or else he will kill them too. Then they both hid, and Sarah answered the door. Sarah's sister was expecting, and both of them wanted to enter. But Sarah claimed that she was having a fight with Ryan. This was not a good time, so Sarah asked them to return later. Hearing this, her sister's husband began trying to get inside, since he wanted the issue to be settled. But just then, the two of them departed from there. Then Sarah shut the door in tears. Now the killer asked Robert for a beverage, to which he said yes, but to add more ice in it. Evening prior, Ryan was on the balcony the whole night. When he returned back to the bed, then a scent of soil was coming from his hand. Perhaps the diamond is in the planter on the balcony, and began to inspect the pot carefully. And here as the killer got out the ice to make the beverage, he then saw a glittering diamond in an ice cube. He swiftly took that cube. He melted the cube and began to take out the diamond. And in this, so he now wanted to murder Robert and keep all the diamonds for himself. But Robert declined to take that drink, since he said that he wanted more ice in his drink. But the killer claimed that the ice had melted, and while saying this, he attempted to attack Robert. But Robert then shot him, since he was already prepared for this assault. Then Robert pulled out the diamonds from his pocket. He now had 20 million in diamonds. But Sarah then stabbed him from behind. She was about to flee away from there. Then Robert approached and grabbed her, and began to strangle her. He was just about to kill her, but Robert then came and grabbed her. And then the wounded killer attacked him again. So Sarah seized upon this opportunity and started sprinting toward the terrace. Then her foot unintentionally kicked the gun, and it hit the diamond. Here Robert finished the killer without mercy. Now he was going to grab Sarah on the terrace. But Sarah then heard the sound of his approaching footsteps and fired at him. But Robert was spared. He realized that Sarah's aim was extremely sharp. That is why he was scared to move. But at that exact moment, it was 12 o'clock, and the New York festivities were in full swing. Sarah was disoriented by the sound of the fireworks, and Robert also realized that she would not be able to hear his voice. But Sarah then used her head and began threatening to toss all the diamonds by throwing a single diamond down. That is why Robert rushed over and grabbed her hand, the one which held the diamonds. And Sarah then shot him and sent him off the building. Robert was dead. Just then the cat walks past his body, the one which Robert had thrown. This means the cat had survived. And now Sarah possessed diamonds worth $20 million. She places the diamond back inside the ice block. And this is how the movie concludes.